Welcome to the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor, live from Rudy's Barbecue on Harvey Road in College Station. Brought to you by Coors Light, Choose Chill, and Gig 'em Aggies. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit rudys.com to find the real Texas barbecue near you. And by Twisted Tea, hard iced tea for the 12th man. Please drink responsibly. Now, here's Steve Miller.
And hi again, everybody. Welcome out to Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor. I am Steve Miller. Great to have you with us tonight. If you're out driving around, just find the next break in the median and turn, and that's probably where we are at. We're in College Station, Texas, where earlier today someone else hit a bridge. So I don't know if that's 3 in 3 weeks, if that is 3 in 4 weeks, but another bridge was hit today. How about that?
I did not hear that.
Yeah, down at Fitch and the bypass in the U-turn lane as you go south to turn around to go north. Somebody hit the bridge. How does that happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you ever hit a bridge?
No. Actually, you know what? I have hit a bridge before. You don't forget something like that. I was at Lunatic, and we were on a bypass, and somebody came into my lane, and so I swerved to miss them, and I went straight into, I was overlooking the Ouachita River in Monroe, Louisiana, and I'm fortunate I didn't go over it. Yeah. You didn't expect that answer, did you?
I did not expect that answer.
Yeah.
I would think the side is better than the top, but, you know, I'm not an engineer.
Here's the funny thing I was thinking when that happened. So my mom, bless her, right, love her to death, but she gives me all these things of, there's a fire, hit this, and if there's somebody chasing you, do this, and here's the mace, and here's this Swiss Army knife. And so for Christmas that year, she gave me this thing that you hit, like, to break the window if your car ever goes over. And I took it and threw it in the back of the trunk. And so as I'm having this, it's not funny now, right? But as I am going towards the bridge, your life literally flashes in front of you. And all I'm thinking is where's that dang thing my mom got me for Christmas? Because it's going to come in handy when my car goes over this bridge and into the Ouachita River.
The old window-breaking hammer, yes, as seen on TV, I'm sure. I think I got one of those for Christmas one year or something. It was like, oh, yeah, what are you going to do with it? It's heavy, it's awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do you end up in the drink? I don't know. All right, well, that's not what we came for, but that was bonus material right there, folks. That's how we do that. The Aggies 5-5 overall, beating Syracuse earlier in the week, and then falling short to Kansas State yesterday. Let's go to the Wayback Machine to the Syracuse. Mm-hmm. One of the halves that you would like to talk about of the Syracuse game?
Yeah. You know what? Number one, congratulations to the SEC on winning the SEC ACC Challenge.
That thing was over before it started, it seemed.
I think last year we ended up tied.
Yeah.
And so this year
because somebody got some great win or something to get it tied.
Yeah.
It was really close.
I think that was us, right?
Yeah, it may have been.
Didn't we tie it up?
We beat Wake Forest late night.
Yeah, we were the second night, and we had the last game, so our game tied it up.
Nobody could play after us. That wasn't possible.
So, but we won that, and the men did too. I think the men only lost one game on their side.
Both of those things were just runaways. Yeah, we'll take that.
But listen, Syracuse is a team that needed a win, and so did we. They lost to Maryland. We had lost to West Virginia, 2 top 25 teams. Their record was the same. They were going to play Notre Dame. After us, we were playing Kansas State, and we were two teams who needed a win, and so we knew both teams were going to come out fighting and hungry, and they have 2 really good players, and they're 2 lead guards, and so we knew that we needed to take care of them because if they struggled, Syracuse struggled, and we held number 4 Borough to 0 points, and that was huge for us, but they jumped on us to start the game, give our team credit. They came back and they responded, and what I liked about that was just the maturity we saw and how we handled that. Normally when we get down, either we get really disgruntled and frustrated, or we try to get it all back in one possession, and I thought we showed extreme growth in just how we chipped away at, taking the lead and getting stops on defense, and came out in the third quarter and just kind of grabbed the bull by the horns, and we were in control. Obviously, they made a run in the fourth quarter, but we were able to finish it out.
What was your mantra at halftime?
Syracuse is an extremely deadly third quarter team. Like if you look at all of their quarters, the third quarters when they come out and just kind of really go at you. And so what we talked about at halftime was not letting that happen. I think that's what happened at West Virginia. Not I think, I know, right? The third quarter at West Virginia is just what really put us behind. And so we just said we cannot do that again. And I thought our players responded to that well.
A couple of new additions to the roster this year ended up getting both high point scorers with Janae Kent and Talia Parker, both with 14 points. And great if one of them does it. Great that two of them did it. But being new and you play, at that point it was game 9. I mean, that's making an impact pretty quickly.
Janae came back from the Bahamas just a different player. You could tell she was disappointed in her play personally in the Bahamas, and she attacked practice differently. And I've said this before about her, but you look at her bio and it says played in 32 games last year at LSU. And, I'll say it if she was sitting here. Yes, she did, but those were like minutes at the end of the game when the score was 85-40. So she still has a huge learning curve. And so she came back ready to make a different impact, and you can see that even in yesterday's game. I mean, she didn't have 14 points, but she was locked in. She knew what was going on, and if she can continue to grow and with her size and her ability to do multiple things offensively and defensively, we can get some consistency from her and Talia, then it's going to really help us out and take some pressure off of Sahara and AC, because right now, they have got to be who they're supposed to be every single game for us to be, competitive and put ourselves in a position to win.
What do you think changed for Janae?
I think it was just her mindset. I think that, and Coach Landers used to always say this. He used to say, "Success killed Elvis," right? That was his motto all the time. Like, how do you handle success? Basically, was his point. And I'm not saying she has not said this to me, but you leave LSU and you walk into a starting position, right? And so I think sometimes when that happens, you're like, oh, okay. And then I think when she wasn't getting the productivity that she wanted from herself, she felt like she could do more. And so I think she's just been more intentional. She's in the gym getting up extra shots. You can tell when you look in her eyes, she's got a different level of just being locked in and listening. And not that she wasn't coachable at all before. I'm not saying that. She's just stepped it up some.
In the Syracuse game, there were times where that wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line and go, hey, our defense did this versus this wasn't real pretty? And maybe there's a great combination of both, but obviously in the end, defense really stepped up when it mattered.
Syracuse averages 77 points a game. We hold them to, 46, 47?
Yeah, not even 50. So, if you don't get 50, then no chance of winning.
We're supposed to win on most nights
right.
when you do that. And the third quarter was ugly for me defensively in the sense that Syracuse wasn't scoring, but we were fouling. Mm-hmm. So they scored 11 points in the third quarter, and 7 of the 11 was from the free throw line. And that's where we've got to finish out that possession without fouling or turning, allowing them to get second chance opportunities with offensive rebounds. And so that was ugly at times. We went through a stretch where we didn't score very well, but we held them on the other end. And so that's, if we can continue to hold teams and not let them get what they want, and tough baskets. How many tough baskets have they scored is a conversation we have with our team all the time. Are they scoring tough baskets, or they're getting it any way they wanted? And we'll talk about a game here in a minute where the team got it any way they wanted it on Sunday. Yeah.
Well, when you play one of these games where I always say it's like first to 50 wins. Mm-hmm. And in this case, got past that marker and was like, yep, we're not done. We're going to extend this out just to make sure that this isn't one of these 2 or 3 point games where we're going to prove it. What was important about the last few minutes of that game?
What was important about that game, number one, Erica Moon finished it out for us, and I thought it was huge for her confidence, someone who hasn't played in 3 years, to put her in the game in Syracuse, and for her to manage that in a time and score situation was really, really good. I thought she did a good job of managing the clock, getting us in offense, getting the ball in the hands of the right person, and then defensively getting stops. I think it also was important for our team because this year we've been in that situation, maybe not fourth quarter, a minute left, but you look at the Villanova game, we're trying to make a run. You look at the Ball State game, we've cut it to 6. We turn it over twice, and it goes to 12 because they shoot 2 threes. And so to be able to have a defensive stance when a team is, coming at you or trying to keep the lead, whatever it is, I thought it was good for us to get over that hump.
You mentioned Erica Moon and her development. How is she developing?
She is a phenomenal guard. She's rusty. Right, and I think what we are just seeing is some of the rust being knocked off. She hasn't played in 3 years, and now she's not playing in high school anymore. She's playing at the Power 4 level at a SEC school. So I think we're just slowly seeing her get more comfortable with the offense, with her knee. What is I'm hurt pain versus I'm injured pain? She's going to be playing in pain for the rest of her career as long as she decides to play, and I think she's learning how to manage that. And how to be honest about, okay, I can't go today, but let me get the mental reps in, or I'm fine today. But she's managing all of that really well.
Was her injury a knee injury? Was that
knee injury. She tore ACL, probably came back too soon, re-injured it, had another surgery in high school. thought she was okay. And then we brought her here, and like with most of our players who've had any type of injury, we put them through an extensive just check. Our doctors and Stacy do a great job in that regard. And when we did a check on her knee, what we found is that her meniscus was hanging on by a thread. She had a bad surgery, really.
Oh, wow.
And so that's all we'll kind of say about that because of HIPAA. But so that required her to have another surgery when she got here.
I think when players, it's one thing to have injury, players get hurt, whatnot, and then to have a second injury or a re-injury of it.
Same leg.
And the same leg, and knowing that you can't play. How was her mental approach in trying and sitting around last year? Nothing you could do about it.
I think that she handled it as best as you probably could. She had days where especially when she first got the news, where she was extremely sad. But Erica's someone who was like, okay, I've had my little pity party. How do I attack it? She's never late to rehab. She's always on time. She handles her business. She's just extremely mature. Her mom and dad are also super supportive. Her mom is in the healthcare industry, so is also very knowledgeable. And so she attacked it really well and really handled it almost as good as you can in that situation.
Got several young ladies who have been vying for playing time at the point guard position and kind of a merry-go-round at times. Where do you think you stand in that area with the
it's
point
still
guard?
It's a merry-go-round.
Yeah.
It's a merry-go-round. Erica is on minute restriction, so she is limited in how many minutes she can play. And then you've got Soleil, obviously, who starts for us. Kendall goes between playing the point and playing off the ball. And so Soleil I would love to be able to get Soleil off the ball a little bit as well so she can play, and have the freedom to shoot the ball without also thinking about the offense at times. But it's a merry-go-round. It's a revolving door. And hopefully at some point that's going to benefit us in a great way.
And we've seen Sahara take some reps at that position too.
Yeah, and she will. She will continue to do that.
And we say point guard. It's kind of like who gets the start in a football game. You happen to be on the first play, and it may have been just the right formation. But same thing applies perhaps in basketball. Depending on the situation, you may be on this play and not the next play.
Yeah, there's certain plays that we just move people around, and that's what is exciting about this team is that we have versatile pieces where we can say, hey, AC, go here, now go there. Sahara, go here, now go there. Erica, you go here, Kendall, go here. And so if we can figure out how to continue to navigate and move those pieces based on what the defense shows us and where we think we can have an advantage, I want to continue to do that.
I mean, if you're one of those young ladies, I would think you see this as opportunity.
Right. There's a ton of opportunity. Yeah. Ton of opportunity.
And you don't want to be caught on the wrong side of that because then opportunity doesn't knock anymore.
It doesn't knock anymore. It's not equal. It's not equal opportunity, but there is opportunity.
There is opportunity, and you'll make the best of it there,
right?
And then if not, then you can come back and enjoy one of the comfy maroon seats that we offer at Reed Arena, right?
Well, that's the thing. There's so much parity in our roster. There's not someone that's head and shoulders above anyone. So it's like, okay, come sit down over here, and you take a turn. Okay, no, you come sit down over here, you go take a turn. And that's just where we are. And so what hopefully does is continue to allow us to have competitive practices because there's three people on the bench who could start right now. And so it hopefully keeps us in that mindset. And if we continue to use that for good and in the right way, it should be something that is a strength of ours.
Yeah, and continuity plays a role in that. Where does it fall in this?
It plays a huge role, and it's something that we don't really talk about a ton because there's so many rabbit holes you can go down. But you've seen it on a stat sheet. At the end of all the things, there's this plus minus by everybody's name, and it tells you for the game, are they negative or positive? Really simple. And the other thing it also can tell you is what combinations are good together and which ones aren't. And so sometimes when you don't see people on the floor together, it's not that individually they aren't good, it's that they aren't good together. And so all that is kind of going through my mind as I'm like, dang it, I need to get her in, but she doesn't play well with her, or she needs to be on the floor with her. And so we have all that information of the best lineup defensively, the best lineup offensively, the best lineup versus a zone, the best lineup versus a man. We have all those things. So there's so many other dynamics that are going on behind the scenes.
Well, plus minus has always been an NBA thing, but it kind of found its place in college basketball. Perhaps we were tracking some of it, but now it just appears there's no tracking needed.
Well, it wasn't always on a stat sheet. You had to go back to the advanced stats after the game to get it. Now it's on the stat sheet that automatically prints out.
Yeah. You can tell immediately. You can tell in game, and you don't have to go back and figure it out. It is fascinating.
It's wonderful because when they say, "Well, I'm not playing," I can show it to them right there in the moment. You see that right there?
That's right.
That's why.
Yeah, we're leading by 7, but when you're in the game, we're a -5.
Or why did you sub me out here? Because it's time and score, and they're going to foul, and this is your free throw percentage.
And all of this is going through your mind during the game.
Right. Yeah.
Crazy. Good job. I don't know how you do that. All right. Coming up on the show, we'll visit with Angela Jones. We'll also revisit the game from yesterday and look ahead to what's going on over the next couple of weeks with the team and some of the community service projects we've got going on here with Aggie Basketball. We're live from Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor from Learfield. Head on over to your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com to place an order for their real Texas barbecue. Enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce. Don't forget, Rudy serves made-to-order and grab-and-go breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m. We're back on the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor. I'm Steve Miller. Great to have you with us. We are at Rudy's Barbecue on Harvey Road. We'll be here until 7 o'clock, and then it is the Buzz Williams Show coming up at the top of the hour. So we got 2 hours of basketball talk here today. All right, the Aggies are getting set to take on Texas Southern next Monday. That'll be the next game. It's 7 o'clock next Monday, and be here on the A&M Sports Network locally, Zone 1150. And then Thursday, December 19th, is the final game of 2024.
Yes.
What a schedule.
Yes.
And that is against Mississippi Valley State. That is Thursday, December 19th. Listen up, 1 o'clock start. You get there at 7 o'clock, there ain't going to be anybody there.
At all.
6 o'clock, they're still gone. So 1 o'clock, kind of a getaway game, to use a baseball term, and that is Thursday, December 19th. So next Monday and Thursday are the upcoming basketball games.
Get a break here.
That is a break, yeah. Well, it's a good schedule here in the month of December. We've got a couple of marquee games, a couple of good games before the holidays, and then it's turn it up. Tennessee is just around the corner.
Yeah. So we took off today. We'll take off tomorrow. It'll be the first time in a while we've had 2 days off. It's our players finishing up finals and getting ready to go, and then it'll give us a chance to rest players and continue to work on ourselves, and then we'll play 2 games to finish it out, and they'll get a break and get a chance. This is probably the longest break they've had at home, I would say, since I've been here for sure. So, have
you had a schedule similar to this in your past?
No, never.
Yeah, anxious to see how it works out. I think it's definitely a chance to get rested, perhaps, and get reset. And the calendar's kind of funny anyway, the way between Thanksgiving and where conference starts. It's
been harder to schedule non-conference games.
Yeah,
and so that's why we agreed to a 3-year MTE this year, a multiple tournament event that we went to in the Bahamas, but it's been harder. It was just really hard to get another game after Christmas. Normally I would have, in a perfect world, I would have liked to play one more game before Christmas, maybe the 21st, 22nd, and then come back and not play another game until SEC.
Which road is this going down in schedule developing? Is it this, like they're doing in men's basketball, nobody wants to play at anyone's home court, or is it partly due to nobody knows what the rosters are going to be, and we were already scheduling pretty close?
It is. Nobody wants to come play.
Yeah.
And also the amount of money that the teams that we want to play during that time of year are asking now, because with revenue distribution coming, with NIL, like they are not getting a lot of the money, and so the way for them to get money is to ask us for a lot of guarantee money. We just, like, this is our price, this is the amount, and we just can't go over that. And so it's a few of those things all combined.
Yeah, and that non-conference payment stuff, that happens obviously in football, makes a lot of headlines, doesn't get much talk in basketball unless there was an upset, but it goes on in baseball and of course, like in both basketballs. So we won't get into the pricing of that, but those numbers have gone up dramatically in the last 4 or 5 years, if I recall.
They're going to continue. They're trying to continue to drive that number up.
Sure. And so when you look at the game against Syracuse, that's essentially managed by the conferences. It's
out of our hands.
That's right.
This is who you're playing, and this is when and where.
That's right. And everybody be there, aloha.
Yes.
And so how does the Kansas State game come to be?
The Kansas State game was scheduled 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
2 years ago. And so that was before we knew we were going to have an SEC-ACC challenge. Obviously, our roster looks different. But that you agree to games like that against other Power 4 opponents like years out, because if I know I'm playing Kansas State, then when somebody else calls me, I'm going to say, no, I've already got another Power 4 game. And so you want to kind of get ahead of that as best you can. Like right now we're in talks to, we'll play Kansas State again next year. It's a home-and-home deal. So when you make those agreements, they're for 2 years. So next year we'll go to Kansas State. West Virginia will come to us. And so right now we're trying to find the Power 4 opponent, not for next year, but for the following year. And that conversation's happening now. And so it's challenging because in the day and age of the transfer portal, like I'm now scheduling for 2 years out, and I have no idea what my roster is going to look like 2 years from now.
Right.
And so it's just the way our sport is moving, and you've got to be able to ebb and flow with it.
And for those of you who are listening closely, you kept saying Power 4, Power 4, and it's because the Pac-12 doesn't exist anymore.
Correct. It's Power 4 or Autonomy 4, Power 4. It's the terminology. There's no longer 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you want to be 5, you're going to have to get better. No room at the end on this. All right, so yesterday Kansas State was the opponent, and goodness, the three-pointers was a barrage by Sides. Young lady only averages like 9 points a game, and she just got hot.
Yeah, you're making me hot talking about it. So number 11, Sides is what we're referring to. What's so frustrating about yesterday is our game plan was to get Lee out of the game.
Worked.
And we did it.
Yes.
We got her on the bench.
In like a minute or two.
I mean, if you would have told me that Ayoka Lee was going to pick up 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes of that game and be sitting down, number 50, I would have said, I'll take that.
That's right.
That was our game plan. Go right at her, get her in foul trouble.
Sure.
And my goodness, she went on the bench and they lost their mind, and we did too. They were 7 for 17 from 3 in the first half. We gave up 7 threes in the first half, and we don't give that up in a game. We are not a team that can trade 3s for 2s. You've heard me say that before. We just don't. Kansas State averages 86 points a game, and our goal was to keep them at 70 or less. In order to win this game, they cannot score more than 70 points. And our defense failed us. I thought they played much faster without her. Their pace was different. They had a different edge to them, and we didn't respond to it very well.
I think they seem to have always been, and even in recent memory, somewhat of a three-point shooting team, but they haven't had to rely on that.
Right. They have, and that's what's scary about the team they have is you've got Lee, who's 6'6", and dominant force inside, and then they put 4 shooters around her. So even when she's in the game, you're trying to, figure out, where am I bringing help from? How do I do this? We thought between Jada, Lauren, and Amira, we could continue to throw bodies at her and get her off the block. I mean, she scored 6 points for the whole game. But you were always concerned about she's just going to throw it over the top or they're going to skip it to three-point shooters, and that's where we weren't really locked in or very good.
Do you think your team, despite being down, continued to be locked in?
I thought yes. I thought we kept fighting. I thought that we continued to move around and play with what the lineup looked like. But I thought we continued to fight. Yes, we did not take the right shots at times, and defensively we just could not get stops. And listen, once you let somebody like Sides get in that type of zone, it is hard. It is hard. Once she sees the ball go in, she's such a quick shooter, such a dynamic shooter. She had herself a night.
Got into the fourth quarter, and Coulibaly ends up getting 9 of her 12 points in that quarter. But that wasn't the case earlier in the game.
Yeah, she was quiet. She we talk about this with her all the time. Like, yes, every team's going to game plan against you. That's not a surprise, right? But she's got to get going sooner. We normally start the game running something for her, to see how they're going to guard her. Who are they guarding her with? They put a post player on her. Are they putting a guard on her? So then we can adjust ourselves accordingly. And she's got to – and if there's so many ways she can affect the game, right? So even if your shot's not falling, go get an offensive rebound. Get a steal for a layup, right? Get yourself going defensively, get a deflection. And so she can do all those things. She's got to get herself going sooner.
Yeah, there's always something you can contribute to out there. You can always rebound.
Always.
Never met someone who's not able to rebound. That may be a choice. But offensively, shooting the ball again, a couple of stretches where it's like nothing's going now. What do you do there?
I thought in the third quarter we had several moments. I'd say there were at least 5 or 6 possessions that stick out to me where either we have someone who's not in the right spot, and so the ball handler's like, you're not where you're supposed to be. Okay, I'm just going to shoot it. Or, trying to get it back. I'm open. Sometimes there's a reason why we were open. It's probably not the shot you should take. And so I thought our shot selection in the third quarter was not great. And that's frustrating because up until that point, I thought that was an area where we were getting better in terms of understanding what is a good shot for you. And the shot that's good for me is not the shot maybe that's good for you. And just kind of having an understanding of that. And I thought we tried to get it all back in one time. And in some cases, we shot it out of frustration. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot.
Yeah.
So you said the team's going to have a couple of days off. how much time will you take looking back at that game with them?
Oh, we're going to talk about it for sure.
Yeah.
We won't see him. We were off today. We're off tomorrow. This is the good and bad thing about not playing until next Monday. We have a lot of time.
Little fester there.
We have a lot of time, and so we have to. Like, there is a point where you have to move on. Like, you've got to have a short-term memory because there's so many games and they come at you quick, fast, and hard, and you got to have a next best action, like a next moment mentality. But we also have to teach, and so we're always going to do that. And so the good thing for us in this is that we don't have to sit down and have a 4-hour film session like we did after Corpus Christi, right? This can be watch this today, and then let's break it. Let's watch offensive rebounds. Let's watch turnovers. Let's watch shots. And so we can break it down over the next couple of days and watch and hone in on, like, certain things.
What were a couple of things you honed in on the number of times you may have watched it? Not to tell us how many times you watched, but what are the things you keep looking back at? I'm
going to be real honest. I started watching it. I didn't watch it last night at all. I started watching it this morning, and I had to stop watching it. So
it's not like a Netflix. You don't want to binge watch that?
I'm going to finish it, but I was getting so frustrated that I turned it off.
What was frustrating you the most?
I think I think we got, and I don't know why we would do this, but from the moment Lee subbed out, I felt like we relaxed.
It's like we accomplished this.
I felt like we relaxed.
Yeah.
And we don't have that. We don't have any room for error to do that. And we know that. I don't know why we would do that. And then we just had missed assignments. We did things yesterday that I had not seen in the last 4 or 5 games. And so the question for me is why? Like, where did this come from? Because I thought we had addressed this. I thought we were past this. And so that's where my frustration came from.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're a good team. Are they 39, 40 points better?
Yeah, I mean, they're the number 13 team in the country, right? Let's give them credit. They're very, very good. Right. We could have played really, really well and not won yesterday, but it's about how you win and how you lose.
Sure.
And so there are some things we've got to address there.
Yeah, because especially you go after Lee. Hey, we accomplished this piece. Now we just set up a set table that makes it this a little bit more competitive now. We've taken out a big chunk of this. Now we know.
Not the case.
And they bring in Taylor and whoever else the other girl was. I forget her name. They just
Lester.
Lester, yeah.
Yeah.
They just went to work. All right. We're going to come back and talk about giving back.
Let's do that.
That'd be better?
That'd be great.
All right. You don't need a pillow, do you?
No.
Okay, all right. All right. We are live from Moody's Barbecue. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor from Learfield. At Costa Vida Fresh Mexican Grill, we source high-quality ingredients and make our recipes from scratch every day. Starting with our fresh tortillas to our chips and queso, Baja Bowls, quesadillas, tacos, and more. Find us at CostaVita.com or in South College Station today. We're back at Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor. I'm Steve Miller. Great to have you with us here. We're on Harvey Road in College Station and talking Aggie women's basketball until 7 o'clock, and then it'll be the Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams from 7 until 8 o'clock. The Aggie women don't play again until next Monday, and that'll be Texas Southern, 7 o'clock at Reed Arena. And then Thursday the 19th will be the getaway game, and the Aggies face Mississippi Valley State at 1 o'clock. That's Thursday the 19th. So next Monday and next Thursday are the next games, and those will be the final games on the schedule for 2024. And then it's conference play starting a few days after the new year. We are pleased to welcome our guest, Angela Jones, Executive Director of External Operations, Marketing, and Strategic Relations. Welcome.
Welcome.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good. Excellent. Excellent. What was we have a lot of positive things to talk about here after the session we just had in the last segment. Let's go back to the summertime. Italy. Tell me about Italy.
Italy was absolutely amazing. And to do it with the group of ladies that we have right now, we couldn't ask for a better trip. I think I've heard Joni talk about it a couple times when she's asked about it. The girls had a great time. We had a great time as a staff. And it just was amazing, honestly.
What do you think about the bonding of everyone? I look at those trips and wonder if that's like a great bonding opportunity for everyone.
It is. Like, we did things with the ladies, but we did things with the staff as well, like separately. And it's just good to remove yourself from the office and to be in a place like that. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more. And I think the ladies although they were playing games there, yes, I think to have that time to build in the off season only helps us throughout the season, so to get to know one another.
Did you get up and do the bike ride?
So that's the one thing that I didn't get to do.
Why?
So that day I had some other things going on, so I didn't get a chance to do it. But everyone else told me it was great.
Nothing like, I'm sure, driving a bicycle on cobblestone streets.
You would bring that one up, the one thing that I missed.
So, I just want to make sure, just checking on attendance. I hadn't found anybody that went yet, so I'm just.
Oh, really?
Oh, did you go, Joni?
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
I almost missed it though. So
That's what I'm saying. It was such a crazy
what
time frame.
happened was the internet is spotty at best.
Yeah.
Right. And so we were all using like a GroupMe, WhatsApp, one of those things.
Yep.
And like some people would get messages, some people wouldn't get messages. So we had an itinerary, but it was ever evolving and changing. And Meredith would like text out like, "Hey, we're going 15 minutes earlier. We're going 15 minutes later." And so I went to bed thinking, I'm going to make up a time because I don't remember, but I went to bed thinking like meet at 9 o'clock for bike riding.
Right.
And of course I wake up early and I just happened to be opening my door to slide food out in the hallway. And I see Meredith getting on the elevator and it's like 8:30 and I just wave at her and I close my door. And so then, like, 8:45 comes, and she texts me, and she goes, "Hey, are you riding bikes?" And I was like, "Yeah, but we don't leave till 9 o'clock." And she goes, "No, we're leaving now." And I said, "Do what?" And she said, "Can you get down here?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can make it." But I only made it because I was already up and dressed. But there were a few people who didn't get the update. I didn't get the update, and so didn't get a chance to go. But that's the internet in Italy.
That's right. Yeah, no, several bikes went unridden.
Yeah.
That was for sure. So then what was your favorite thing, Angela?
So I would have to say we did a wine tasting at a winery, and it was absolutely amazing. The views were amazing. So that was probably my favorite as well.
Yeah, no, I think we went and did a visit, too, out to a winery. That was pretty cool. Yeah. I liked the dinner we had in Florence. Was it second to last night in that place? It was right around the corner from the hotel.
That was amazing. All our dinners together, though, were great. Yeah.
They were fun. We don't get to do enough of that during the regular season sort of thing. So got a couple of things coming up. We need to promote, need to tell people about. Number one, let's talk about the annual bike build. This is a super cool project the team does.
No, it's so exciting. This is our third year to do it here in Aggieland. Joni started it back in Athens, and so we've continued it here. We have been honored by Sports Academy. They've partnered with us the last 2 years, and this will be our third year, where they are super, super wonderful in that they donate 75 bikes. And then our gracious donors and fans will also contribute as well. They are a huge partner with the SEC. So to have them come in and be so gracious, and then they also have someone that comes. While we have our Fast Break Club will help the ladies build the bikes, they will also have someone from their department come and make sure that all bikes are put together well, because our ladies are great at playing basketball, not so great at putting bikes together all the time. So we'll have that. It's always a great time for our ladies to spend time with our Fast Break Club and just give back. I think the kids in the Brazos Valley community are going to be excited for Christmas just to receive a bike that most kids around might not have the opportunity to always have presents, and to be able to build bikes together and then be able to give them. It just is amazing for us.
Is there a magic dollar amount that buys a bike?
So according to Academy Source, a bike averages about $89. So $100 would be able to get a bike and a helmet, and every bike that we do build will come with the helmet. So if you are looking to give, $100 should cover everything.
And so is there a spot? Do they just call you? Is there an internet site? Where is it? So
the best way, if you want to go to Sports Academy and get an e-gift card, when you go online, you can put the recipient and put my email address. It's ajonesathletics.tmu.edu. Another way is you can come by our office, reach out to any of our staff, but you can reach out to me via email. Let me know you're going to come by. You can drop off a bike, a helmet, any donation is greatly appreciated. So don't feel like you have to get a bike. You can give $20, you can give $100, all of it can go back.
How many did you do last year, did you say?
So we did over 125 last year, and we're on track to do more this year. So we're super excited about that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, so coming up on Wednesday, that's in 2 days from now, we have Beyond Basketball.
We do.
And tell us who's on the docket. Do we know yet?
Yes, we do. So, no, it's not a secret.
Oh, okay.
So we're actually going to have Cheryl Stallings of the NBA. She will be joining us. So we are super, super excited to have her. She's the VP of Promotions and Content. So Joni knows her very well. So I think the ladies are in for a great morning.
And Beyond Basketball is every second Wednesday of every month till May, right?
Yes, till May. So this will be our last one of 2024. Again, like Steve said, it's every second Wednesday. It starts at 8 a.m. And you can go to 12man.com/Beyond Basketball if you would like to join us.
And is there any spots left open for this week?
You know what? We are growing. We have over 250 members. On average, on Wednesdays, we have over 170 ladies show up. So we love that we're growing. We might be outgrowing our area, but that's a good problem to have. Absolutely.
Excellent. All right. Anything else to promote?
Well, actually, you spoke to our game against Mississippi Valley State. So just a reminder, that is our ugly sweater game and our fan appreciation game. So please come out. And don't forget, Steve did mention it's at 1 o'clock, not 7 o'clock. So wear your tackiest, ugliest sweater possible. We look forward to picking out the best. Joni claims she always wins. So I'll be looking in the stands to see if we can find a better one. No pressure, Joni.
Yeah, well, that was something to look forward to.
I don't know, Steve, you might beat her out this year, huh?
I don't know about that. That's just like a competition, only an exhibition. And again, you don't want to be caught on the other side of wearing something and someone goes, great job. And you're like, oh, that was really something I thought was nice, you know?
This is true.
You're like, I didn't know there was a contest today, you know? So, yeah, so spread the word to,
Absolutely. And follow our Facebook page, our Instagram and Twitter page. We'll be posting about it as well. So we'll constantly send reminders.
Excellent. Thank you, Angela.
No, thank you, Steve,
for
having me.
That's Angela Jones, everybody. We're live at Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor from Learfield. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP Aggie Basketball fan experience this year. Go to 12man.com/maroon contest and register. One winner and a guest will receive game tickets, a Joni Taylor autographed basketball, and will be recognized on the video board during the game. Register today at 12man.com/maroon contest. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance is a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. We're back at Rudy's Barbecue. It is the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor. Texas A&M getting set to take on Texas Southern. That's next Monday at 7 o'clock. And we're here until 7 o'clock here tonight, and that's when the Buzz Williams Show, Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz, takes over. The evolution of basketball uniforms, Joni, your thoughts on the length of shorts?
They're too short. They are too short. And then we roll on one.
I was going to say.
I don't know. They're just way too short. Now, mine were way too long. By the time our game was over, I don't even know what they were made out of. They were so heavy. I'm a sweater. I was drenched in sweat. It's funny, one of my teammates actually sent me a picture today of us in our uniform, and I was like, how did we play in that without, completely just passing out of, whatever?
The fabric was different, number one.
Fabric was totally different. So I love the design. Shorts are way too short. The other tangent I will get on about uniforms as it relates to women's basketball versus other women's sports is that we are the only women's sport that is restricted in terms of we have to all be dressed exactly alike. If we are wearing a white uniform, we have to have on, if I have on a white headband, you can't have on a black headband. Your headband has to be white. It can't be pink. It can't be red. It's got to be the same color. Same thing with socks. If I have on white socks, your socks have to be white. And so if we're wearing black and I want to wear a sleeve underneath it, my undergarment has to be the same color as my uniform. Fine, but when you watch softball, when you watch volleyball, there's a whole storyline about she's wearing this ribbon because her sister plays at Oklahoma State and they wear the same ribbon on game days, and this volleyball player is standing up and they get to cheer the entire time, and if we stand up, it's like sit down, sit down, sit down. And so I think we are missing a lot of storylines in our sport that could be told because we have restrictions as it relates to standing up, sitting down, and how we can dress versus other women's sports. And pay attention when you watch volleyball, when you watch softball, they run all kinds of storylines about that she's wearing this and this is her superstition and she wants to wear this color, and we're just missing out on that. So that's my other pain point as it relates to our uniform in women's basketball, the restrictions that the NCAA gives us and how they govern how we can dress versus other women's sports, soccer included.
And there's been so many times where a player will do something with either the undergarments deal or a headband, and everything is covered up with shooting shirts, and it used to be a day when we were wearing shooting pants and whatnot, and then they would unveil after the starting lineup, get out there, and the officials are going, hang on, you can't play, that's not legal, that's not legal. And you're like, what are we going to do here? Yeah.
So it's something that I'm on a rules committee, and it's something that I continue to talk about. I just think as our game is growing, our game is just taking off, we're missing an opportunity to tell stories about the wonderful women and what we're doing, that other women's sports are getting a chance to tell their story, and it's because of the uniform.
Yeah, why set up roadblocks for ourselves?
Absolutely.
All right, we are live from Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor from Learfield. The 12th Man Foundation is the official fundraising organization and ticket provider for Texas A&M Athletics. Support a 75-year legacy and help shape the future of Aggie Athletics by donating today at 12thmanfoundation.com. We're back here on the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor. We're at Rudy's Barbecue here on Harvey Road. Got the Buzz Williams portion of the Aggie Basketball Hours coming up here at 7 o'clock. And Joni, you mentioned you're on the Rules Committee. Are there other rules that you would like to see altered?
Yeah, we actually are trying to bring in the challenge rule that you see the professional sports have. We want to have the challenge replay, not just to be able to replay something on a dead ball going into a timeout or the fourth quarter, but to be able to challenge a play. I think, there's so many conversations about officiating and officials, and there's so many things that are frustration points for, I'm sure, us and them. And I think one way to give not power back, but if I am disgruntled by a call and I get to challenge it, whether I'm right or wrong, at least it makes me feel better and I can move on versus at this point just venting your frustration and nothing gets to happen. And so it's something that we're trying to push for as well. So, and also a shorter shot clock.
Shorter shot clock.
To get matched with professional sports.
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, obviously, trying to get everything to match
get in alignment,
up. Yeah. I think that's people are watching games and they see some of the, WNBA really rose in prominence in this past season. And so then you turn the dial back and, we have this much slower paced college game going on. Mm-hmm.
Well, as our game is trending in that direction, I thought when we changed to 4 quarters, I thought when we went to 2 free throws and got rid of the 1-and-1, it put more points on the board, we played faster, advancing the ball. All those things help grow our game. And so this is just the next step as we continue to do that. And so if you go overseas or play professionally, it's a 24-second shot clock that resets to 14. And right now we're 30 and it resets to 20. Is
there a situation, you talk about reviews, that when you're visiting with an official that they get convinced to go and look at something that they may not have gone to look at? They have a certain things they can only look at, I understand.
And it's a certain window that they can do it in, right? So if there's a shot that you're not sure if it's a 3 or a 2, they can review it, but they can't review it until it's a dead ball. And so that could be 5 possessions later that the score changes or doesn't change, or they can go look at certain things, like if there's a shot to the head or you think an intentional foul, they can review those types of things. But we want to be able to, no matter at what point in the game, if you make a call, if you say that Jada fouled and that's not a foul and that's her 3rd foul or her 2nd foul or whoever it is, I want to be able to challenge that, then I can challenge it.
Yeah, for sure.
And
we're doing that in practically, in literally almost every other sport.
In every other sport, we're doing that.
There we have television at.
And so we're trying to be in alignment there.
All right, Samantha in College Station wants to know, what is your hobby?
Reading. But most of you know karaoke is something. I'm not going to call it a hobby because I don't do it enough, but I will never turn down karaoke if I have an opportunity to. But I enjoy reading and spending time just at home when I have a break. I want to do nothing.
What type of books do you like to read?
So during the season, I read, I'm not going to call it junk, but I read all fiction, right? Romance novels, beach reads. I love Vince Flynn. I love, obviously, John Grisham and Greg Iles because they're Mississippi authors. But Ellen Hildebrand's a great author, my friend, author that I love. She writes about Nantucket. So everything just takes me away during the season. And then in the off season, it's all growth. It's all leadership, basketball, so that's how I do it. So that's my getaway during the season.
All right. Well, our next Joni Taylor Aggie Basketball Hour is not until January the 6th. So until then, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and kick 'em.
Our thanks to Angela Jones, our engineers Kevin Minchow, and Lacey Williams back in Jefferson City. For Coach Joni Taylor, I'm Steve Miller. Have a great night. The Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams is next. This has been the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor from Learfield.